incredible to see. I mean, I don't understand fully what was all involved in his situation. I know with Reuben Foster's situation, it had been an ongoing drama-filled soap opera with his on again, off again ex-girlfriend. And from reports I had read, the police anywhere were all too familiar with those two, and it was just utter chaos. So you kind of saw that happening and transpiring the way it did, but not really sure exactly what the true details of Kareem's situation was. However, regardless of what the details were, his decision making was absolutely pathetic. And as a man and as a highly paid NFL player, regardless of what the situation is, you got to take yourself out of that situation. You know, whatever that girl's problem was or whatever was going on, it's not worth, throwing everything away. It should have been left alone instead of him running full speed and sailing across the hallway and knocking her into a wall. That shouldn't have been the decision he made. There's no justifying that. I don't know what the girl said or did or what the real situation was. Like I said,
no excuses.
But you got to remove there's no excuses. And what I don't understand these players. They don't understand. They don't get it. Don't put yourself in these places. There is no justification. I mean, regardless of what happens, regardless of who said this, who said that, or whatever, don't put yourself in situations that could go dramatically south for you. I mean, Reuben Foster. I mean, he's been dealing with this nonsense with his on again, off again ex-girlfriend for years, from what I'm seeing. He pretty much he asked for this, and it angers me because this is a guy that was about to be put under the jail. Then all of a sudden the girl recants her story and says that it actually didn't happen. So he got the get out of jail free card. He's got another chance at life. He's got opportunity to better himself. What does he do? He stays right where he was, and here we are months later. He's in trouble again, and I'm pretty shocked that the Redskins signed him, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
And I don't care if he's on this little exempt list or naughty corner list that the NFL has placed him on. The fact that an organization's even entertaining bringing him on, it's ridiculous. It doesn't even need to be in the conversation. Ray Rice is out of the league. He wasn't given an opportunity after what he did, but they're entertaining the possibility of bringing Reuben Foster back in. And to be honest with you, I think somebody's going to entertain the possibility of bringing Kareem Hunt back in. So what value are we placing on our players here? And they're acting like complete fools.
Yeah, it's a mess.
And then to add to it, you're going to raise a whole nother level of craziness has been raised because you got the Colin Kaepernick crowd, and I'm not saying I'm on this side or that side or whatever, but I'm just stating solid facts here, is that, this stuff is being allowed to go on, and, Reuben Foster's being signed, but, Colin Kaepernick's still not being given an opportunity to have a job. So that's going to be a whole nother mess. And like I said, I'm not, going to take sides of his protest or whatever, but that's a whole other thing. It's turning into an incredible just drama, and it's absolutely ridiculous what the NFL has become.
Wow. This is, this is pretty interesting. What do you think, Kareem Hunt, do you think Hunt will return to the game, or do you think this is it?
Well, I think if somebody's willing to give Reuben Foster a shot, then more than likely Kareem Hunt is going to be given a shot. I mean, he's an All-Pro, whereas Reuben Foster really wasn't an All-Pro yet. But then again, too, with the Me Too movement and a lot of the things that are going on now, where women have been greatly wronged and have been abused and so on and so forth, and who have suffered tragic events due to people like this have been going on. It's really hard for me to see an NFL team or the NFL as a whole allowing the people who are committing these atrocities back into the league or on teams. I think it sets a bad example.
Well, yeah, it does, man. We'll see what happens. Like you were saying, if Foster got signed, Hunt will, but I think Hunt will take some time. This year is just out of the question. I think he's done for this season. Some people think he's probably out for next season, but maybe the following year is a better chance. So we'll see.
Right.
Anyways, we're coming towards the end of the show. Is there anything else we missed?
Yeah, I'd like to address something you and I have talked about and has actually come up here as of late in our discussions in our chat here, is the notion that Tua Tagovailoa is overrated.
We did kind of brush that up a little bit early in the show, but yeah, I mean, here are my thoughts. I think Tua is a young quarterback, first year starting, Knox, but I think the proof in the pudding is probably be more next year, but that's what I think.
Yeah, and here are my thoughts on it. I think that the media did cause great build-up for Tua coming into the season after that performance in the national championship game, and set up just lofty, perhaps even unreal expectations, and bold statements have been made about him throughout the year. Some deserve it, some maybe not. Some need to be a wait and see. I think that we all were placing just incredible expectations on a 19-year-old kid that, quite honestly, shouldn't have been placed to own him. Yeah, sure, expectations should be there, and Tua has had a completely phenomenal season. But here's the meat and potatoes of it. The kid, like I said, is only 19 years old. As good as he's been this year, he's just a sophomore, and this has been the first real season he's had as the starter for the University of Alabama. So it's really unfair to place any kind of label on him yet, until we see what he does in the playoffs that are to come this year, and until we really see what he's able to do next season. We really can't, pigeonhole him or, just place him in this category or that category. I think we just need to take what we have right now and say, wow, this kid is phenomenal. He's great. But, the jury's got to be out until we have another season. And and because the kid has a bad game, to discredit the lofty praise, it's ridiculous. Every quarterback or every player at some point is going to have that bad game. It's just inevitable. There's going to be that game where nothing works, nothing's clicking, and the team as a whole has to pick up the pieces for him and carry him. And that's just the nature of the beast, And comment was made, that even the great Justin Herbert is being praised as the number one potential pick for the NFL draft, even though he has struggled this year. It was due to not having as good a talent around him that Tua Tagovailoa had. No, it has nothing to do with talent around you. If you look at the intangibles, the mechanics, all the small things not involving the players, his accuracy, his decision making, so on and so forth. Justin Herbert was making bad decisions, the second half of the season that were uncharacteristic of him, and he wasn't quite the same player as he was in the first half. And so that doesn't mean that he's overrated. Doesn't mean that he's underrated.
Does he remind you of Russell Wilson?
Tua?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that there's a lot of similarities. I think they have the same kind of style of play. I think that Tua might be a little faster than Russell, but they're about the same height. Well, I think Tua is a little taller. But man, their decision making, the level of excitement they bring, what they bring to the table as a leader, man, greatly mirrors each other. It's like maybe like they're the same player at times.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's early, obviously, but he's definitely, riding high right now as well. I think he's a great, phenomenal player. That's why he's in the top 3 to win the Heisman, and which is this Saturday. Who do you think will win the Heisman? I know it's between Tua Tagovailoa, Kyler Murray, and Dwayne Haskins. Who do you think will win?
Right. Well, after this past weekend, I think that had Tua had another one of his passing games and had been on point like he has been, I think that would have sealed the deal for him. However, since he did have that bad game, unfortunately, at the absolutely wrong time, I think that there's doubt now as to him winning the Heisman. And to be quite honest with you, I think because of that performance, even though you really shouldn't look at one performance, you should look at it, cumulative. But I think the most recent eye test is going to play into the minds of the voters, and I think that game cost him the trophy this year. And kudos to Kyler Murray for the exceptional year he's had. I mean, you really can't take away anything from that guy. If he wins it, I mean, he deserves it. I mean, there's no disparity there. There should be really no argument. But I think that because of what we saw, there's doubt now. But I think that it really slipped from his grasp because of what happened.
Yeah, and Tua has another year, so he could potentially, probably going to win it next year. So he should be fine.
Well, he's definitely got a great opportunity to do it again next year because he's returning everybody. All his receivers are coming back. Irv Smith, tight end's coming back. He's going to have a strong backfield again. Najee Harris will be back. Damian Harris will be leaving, and more than likely Josh Jacobs will probably be leaving as well. I think he's going to be graded high by the NFL draft scouts coming up, so I don't foresee him staying. But he's just going to have a lot of incredible weapons at his disposal returning, so you really could possibly see him back in the thick of it again.
Yeah, it's going to be a good Heisman Trophy presentation this weekend, Saturday on ESPN. I think it's 8 p.m. live from New York, so we'll definitely continue the college football talk throughout the Heisman. And sadly enough, are you ready for game predictions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Navy at Army.
Well, this is always a fun game to watch, man. I mean, it's the last college football game of the regular season, and gives us a little something to tie us over until the bowl season kicks off. And it historically, it's just one of the greatest series in college football. The pageantry of it, everything surrounding it, it's just absolutely amazing. But let's just face it, Army's going to win, but I think they'll have a tough time just because this is a heated rivalry. Navy's not really having a good season this year, and I believe Army has won 9 games. Is that right?
Good question. I don't know for sure. I have to look back.
Well, they've Army standards. They performed better than they historically do, and they're a really good team this year.
So you're picking Army
for them to win this game. I'm picking Army, but I think it'll be a little bit closer than what paper would say.
Yeah, it's the only college football game this weekend.
17-14.
So,
yeah.
Jaguars at the Titans.
Man, I've been really disappointed to see how both these teams have performed this year, man. But the Jaguars, man, what a train wreck! Gosh, amazing what has transpired, from last season to this. And then you got Tennessee on the other side. They show signs of going to the next level and being a good playoff team, and then they show signs of incredible sputtering. Marcus Mariota, you really can't count on him. It's just inconsistencies, I guess, is the best word to use for this. I think though Jaguars are still traveling down a long, deep hole, and I think Tennessee is slightly better than them, and I think that they maybe have a little bit more better together than they do. So I think Tennessee wins.
Tennessee wins. Panthers at the Browns.
I think the Browns will give them a fight. They're definitely playing at a much better level now that Hugh Jackson is gone. Baker Mayfield has seemingly taken this team over and has made it his team. They're playing a lot better, and I think they're going to make this game competitive. And Carolina kind of is a little inconsistent too. I like the Browns.
The Browns win. Yeah, I think the Browns have some momentum since the coach has left. So we'll see what happens. Ravens at the Chiefs. This is a big game.
This is a huge game, especially for the Ravens. They over the past few weeks, especially since inserting Lamar Jackson into the starting lineup, performing a lot better. As a matter of fact, they have won 3 in a row now. Ravens.
Let's go Ravens.
They also placed themselves back into absolutely. They placed themselves back into playoff talk. But the thing is, though, in order to make that talk into reality, they're going to have to keep winning. So this is huge for them. Not quite as huge for the Chiefs, but this is basically do or die for Baltimore. And I think Baltimore's defense is going to give Mahomes a little bit more trouble than he really wants to deal with. So I want to say Baltimore wins this game.
And are you a Lamar Jackson fan?
I'm becoming one. Really wasn't big on him coming into the draft just because I felt like he was one-dimensional and relied too much on his legs. And if he's ever in a situation where that run is neutralized, I think he struggles as a passer. So I've had my doubts. Now I have liked what I've seen so far and what he's been able to do. But I need to see a little bit more for him before my attitude changes.
Colts at the Texans.
Man, if you were to pick against the Texans right now, you'd be fooled. They are the hottest team in the NFL right now. Deshaun Watson is incredible, and they're just going to keep rolling, man.
There you go. Houston wins. The Patriots at the Dolphins.
The Dolphins are kind of iffy, too. They've been kind of inconsistent.
You're telling me.
They got the pieces. Yeah, I know. I know. This is your team, brother. And, hey, I'm a big Kenyon Drake fan, and he's been having a really good year. Minka Fitzpatrick's been doing pretty well for him as well.
Oh, yeah,
they have the talent. They have the talent, the pieces in Miami to
it's
be
the quarterback.
Doing better than they are.
It's the quarterback.
Right. And my question is, how much longer are you going to invest in Tannehill? I wanted to wait.
I think time is up.
A little bit.
I think time is up.
But time is up. I mean, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I want to wait it out too. But brother, it's been too long, and it's time to start looking towards the future.
Yeah, Justin Herbert.
Because quite possibly, or maybe go after a veteran. I don't know, but something needs to be done. Because
when you're a rookie, you start from scratch. The Bills have Josh Allen. The Jets have Sam Darnold. So they're starting from scratch with the quarterback, and we got to do it because they're on the upswing and feel like we're in the downswing. The Patriots are going to tap out in the next couple of years. So I think we need to either get Tua out or Herbert. That's it.
So would you go young or would you go veteran right now?
I will go young. I will go young. I will not do the
Okay.
short-term fix. I'll do the long-term fix.
Gotcha. Well, like I said, man, they've really got the pieces in place to be doing more than they're doing right now, and it's really been disappointing to watch them this year. It's really been frustrating, too, because, it's good for football when Miami, who is an historically great NFL franchise, is not performing well at all, kind of like when the Cowboys aren't performing well at all. But, at the beginning of the season, the Dolphins looked better, and I think they would have beaten New England then. But New England is back to doing New England things again, and New England's going to win, and I think they're going to roll into the playoffs again and be a force as always. So I hate it. I like for the Dolphins to win. I think they have the capability, but New England is in their stride right now, so New England wins.
Yeah, well, like the last couple of years, the Dolphins have been winning in Miami, so we'll see if that trend continues. Giants at the Redskins.
Well, had Alex Smith not gone out, there without question, Washington wins this handily. It looks like New York's playing better as of late. They're still not really a good team, but Washington right now offensively is a team in disarray. They really don't know who they are. And having Colt McCoy and Mark Sanchez, good grief, it's really not going to carry them to where that they were looking towards going with Smith healthy. I think for the second week in a row, New York wins.
New York wins. Falcons at the Packers.
Man, it's the battle of the worst teams.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely up there.
Packers are just at a whole other level right now of good Lord, they're awful. And I hate it, man, because I like the Packers. I love the organization. I love the history of it. And it's just shameful to see what their coach has brought them to. And it really shouldn't be like this. It's not good for football. And I hope whoever comes in has respect for the legacy of the Packers and quickly gets them back to where they need to be. But I think that Atlanta just has too much offense to be stopped by Green Bay. And I think Julio Jones and Calvin Ridley are going to have a big day. And I think Falcons win.
Falcons winning Green Bay. Jets at the Bills.
Well, let's see. I think the Bills will win this game. They've been playing better as of late. They seem to be getting better. And I think that they're starting to show signs of a potential good future. Neither one of them are really wowing us this year. But I got to go with Buffalo here.
The Buffalo Bills. The Broncos at the Niners.
Ooh. As you brought to us earlier, the Broncos just took a huge loss with Sanders tearing his ACL. Is that right?
Yes, the Achilles tendon, actually.
Achilles tendon. Sorry about that. Took a huge blow, especially right now as they're trying to fight for possible playoff contention. And San Francisco was is just awful in themselves this year. That's a train wreck right now. But so even with the adversity that Denver is facing right now, I think they're going to win this game.
Eagles at the Cowboys, probably one of the biggest games this season.
This is a good rematch of the earlier contest. It looks like Philadelphia has kind of rebounded here as of late, but the Cowboys are really hot right now, and I feel at some point they're going to stump their toe a little bit. but I don't feel like it's going to be this week. I think the Cowboys are going to win another fourth. They're going to win a fourth in a row, and claim a possible playoff spot coming up.
True. It's not going to be an easy game, but I think Dallas is going to have the W after this Sunday. The Rams at the Bears.
Rams at the Bears. Interesting contest, man. Defense versus offense. Bears lost a game they really shouldn't have this past weekend. Do we know if Trubisky's back or not?
I think all signs indicate he will be back.
Okay. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think the Rams are going to score as many points as they're used to. I think the Bears defense is going to keep them honest and going to make them work for everything that they get. How effective is Trubisky going to be coming back? Not really sure, but it definitely puts them in better position to possibly win. But I think that they're not quite ready yet, so I'm going to go with L.A.
L.A. Rams. And lastly, Minnesota at Seattle.
Man, kind of a good game to watch. Both teams are really showing something here as of late. But it looks like Seattle's kind of got more of an edge, more fire in them, and they're really making a push. I like what Russell Wilson's doing. I like what Lockett's doing. I think Seattle wins this game.
Seattle wins on Monday Night Football. And random question of the day, when was the last time you went to the movie theater?
Last month, went to see Venom.
And how was it?
Man, it was good. Definitely worth the see, worth the price. As to another list of successes from the universe, definitely helps us forget of that awful version they gave us in years back in Spider-Man 3 when they gave us that ridiculous version of Venom and quite awful movie. Makes us forget about that completely, and it's showing us something completely different. Tom Hardy was good in it. Really intense movie. Kind of starts off a little slow, but does pick up momentum as the movie goes on. Really entertaining flick.
I heard. I have to go see it. Maybe it might be in my local theater. I gotta go check out the listings after this show. There's 4 more weeks left to the next championship game, probably 3. How can people reach you? Because they have 3 weeks to reach you. How can people reach you and to talk about Alabama and Oklahoma?
Hey, I need somebody to reach me now. We've been saying this for how many weeks now, and I have yet to see the first email, have yet to see the first message in my inbox or nothing like that. Now, come on. I need some folks to get on the wagon here, brother. I need some followers. I need some likes. I need some business. But reach me, email 121training, number 12, one spelled out training at gmail.com. Get with me on Facebook at facebook.com/121training. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at 121training.
Thank you very much, Justin. We'll definitely be tracking Alabama in the next few weeks. Like injury reports, what's going on. We'll be analyzing Oklahoma, what they did this past season, and of course we'll touch on Clemson and Notre Dame. Another good game, but we'll see what happens next 4 weeks. We got a Heisman this Saturday, so we'll discuss the winner and reflect what he did this past season. And college football still goes through. NFL is going to definitely take over primetime games, so we'll see what's going to happen there. But Justin Riley, I really appreciate you coming on to the Sportscast.
Man, great to be with you yet another week. I appreciate you.